are switched off.
Let us pray. On this day of celebration, we give thanks to God for the rich inheritance we have received from this university, for the insight and imagination of others, and for friendship shared. We give thanks especially for the support of family and friends who have supported us and encouraged us to achieve our goals. Bless all our graduates as they journey forth from here to their different places and countries of work. Inspire those who will go on to shape our nation's policies, working together for the common good. In seeking to improve the lives of communities here and across the world, that all may thrive in peace and sufficiency. May they use their newfound wisdom and skill to promote greater understanding of the world and the management of all its resources. Those who will use their knowledge of the workings of the human mind in all its wonder and complexity to bring healing and wholeness to others. We ask this blessing for all our graduates. May they find great happiness in all that they do, and may the world be enriched by their learning. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. I call upon the Principal to address this assembly.
Chancellor, Deputy Lord Provost, graduands and guests, good morning. It is true that Dundee is the sunniest city in Scotland, as you've evidently seen. And if you haven't been in Dundee before, I can assure you it really is like this every day, except when it's not. Graduands, you've made it. You're here. Well done. So, the Chancellor and I, we run a competition, and you're part of this competition. And what the competition is this is a great hall. It's seen some amazing things over the years, and the roof's been raised a few times, but this competition, every graduation ceremony, you have to raise it a bit more. Let's have a quick practice with a quick cheer and a quick shout. Come on, let's go. Yeah, it's a tough audience this morning, Chancellor. We're going to have to work them a bit to get them livened up. So we're going to give you a few opportunities to warm up before you all start to come across the stage. But let me start by just welcoming you here to this ceremony in this fantastic city. Dundee is a marvellous city. And on a day like this, it's a great time to explore. So please, between the end of your graduation ceremony and the garden party tonight, which I hope you're all going to come to, all guests and graduates by that time, explore the city, explore the waterfront. There's so much to see and so much to do. As I say, it's a really joyful occasion for all of us to come and celebrate you, our graduate successes. And what's going to happen, I want to just explain a little bit about the process, is you will each, one by one, please do it one by one, come across the stage, and our Chancellor will confer your degree. And she'll do this by tapping you on the head with this bonnet. This is our traditional Dundee bonnet. And it's been made by, well, one of the historic 9 trades of Dundee, the bonnet maker's craft. And this bonnet has been used to confer degrees at every single ceremony held since the university was formed. First wielded by no less a person than Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. So you are part of history as you come across the stage and your degree is conferred upon you with the bonnet. Also part of history are these maces, these magnificent maces that you see in front of you. There's the University Mace, which is closest to me on my left. There's the City Mace beyond that. And the City Mace and the University Mace standing together are just a great symbol of how strong our union is, how strong a partnership is with our city, and the Deputy Lord Provost's presence here just demonstrates that. And this mace here is our rector's mace, and our rector, Keith Harris, essentially oversees the student body in a positive way. It's all in a positive way, isn't it, Keith? But Keith in particular champions the student body, so having the student mace plus the university mace and the city mace together is quite symbolic of the way that we as a university like to function. Also symbolic are these magnificent gowns that you see. And the colours of this are, well, the blue is called liturgical blue. And it's liturgical blue because the patron saint of Dundee is St. Mary the Virgin. And St. Mary the Virgin's colour is this liturgical blue. And her symbol is the Madonna lily. And as you'll see on the arms of the robes, we have the fleur-de-lis. And the fleur-de-lis celebrates the St. Mary the Virgin. There is also the floral emblem of our city, matched, of course, by the Scottish thistle. So, there's your history on what's going to happen today. Let's turn to your graduates. At any time in a graduation, it's a great time to celebrate. The commitment, the dedication that our graduates have given over the years to reaching this point of achievement is always magnificent. But this year is like no other year. This is the first time after COVID that we've been able to come back to summer graduations and the celebrations that are in front of us. But most importantly, the dedication, the commitment that our graduates have had to demonstrate in getting to their degrees, learning in new ways, dealing with all the things that the pandemic and everything else has thrown at them, truly is magnificent. You, our graduates, have represented our university while doing this, and you've done that brilliantly. Your behaviour, your ability to stand up for what we as a community are about has been fantastic. You should be proud of all that you've achieved. I can tell you now, we certainly are proud, and most certainly I am proud. The resilience, the determination that you've shown in attaining your degrees is quite remarkable, and you're a credit to this university and our wider community. So celebrate. I expect you to make more noise. Okay, so last time round you made some noise, not very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you another go. So, start to celebrate. Yeah, they're warming up, Chancellor, they're warming up. And by the way, the upper tiers, don't worry, they won't collapse if you stand, so feel free to stamp up there too. Let's talk a bit about Dundee. Let's talk about our university, all of our universities. So our core mission as a university is to transform lives. And we'll be doing some transformation of lives today. You'll come on as graduands and you'll leave as graduates. But we aim to transform lives across Scotland and Dundee, globally, and we do that through our application and our sharing of knowledge. We're what we call a triple intensive university. A university that's intensive in our learning and teaching, that's intensive in our research with impact, and also really intensive in our enterprise and engagement with our community. And what unites us in that intensity is our social purpose, because social purpose is what a great university is for. To making a difference, to transforming lives. And we are both of and we are for our city. We've taken a central and transformative role in developing Dundee. And you can see that as you walk around in the sunshine, bringing the wonderful V&A to the city, creating a new life sciences innovation district built on our global leading life sciences research, ranked top in the UK, not once, not twice, but 8 years in a row. And by the global pharmaceutical industry, ranked top in the world. And what we will do, as well as bringing jobs and growth to the city, is we'll bring hope through the Eden Project coming to the centre of our town, to the old gasworks, to create a beacon of future of sustainability. So sustainability, health, wealth, equity, inclusion. That's what we're about as a university. And as an example of the kind of impact we made, there's a spin-out from the university, a spin-out called Exscientia, which has become the third largest pharmaceutical company in the UK. Now, you might sound, oh, third, is that all? But GlaxoSmithKline and AstraZeneca, who everybody's heard of, are the top two. This is an amazing achievement, and it's the largest ever biotechnology spin-out from a European university. That's the impact that our research has. But it goes much beyond that, our research. We measure the impacts of climate change on glaciers. We make huge progress in the fight against disease, like Parkinson's, like malaria. At the moment, we have a drug in malaria trials, a single-dose cure for malaria. Think of that. Think of that. The poorest of the poor going and taking one tablet and curing malaria. We make midwifery, dentistry, more equitable and accessible around the world. Keyhole surgery was invented here in Dundee. Many of you, probably all of you, have got a smartphone with you. I hope it's on silent, but use it to take pictures. But the smart screen technology that led to smartphones, this flat screen technology, was invented here in Dundee. We work on the global stage. We work with our international partners as part of the broader international community. And we take on all of the challenges that face us today in our world. But our heart is rooted right here in the city of Dundee. We match our global impact with our commitment to our civic and social responsibilities at home. At the University of Dundee, community is very central to our being. It's at the heart of everything we do, and our graduates, as you're about to become, are an important and vital part of that. As global ambassadors with a lifelong membership of your university, the University of Dundee, this forever will be your home. Take pride in that membership of that university. Share your passion for the university. Share your passion for what we stand for as a community. And do continue to maintain your connections with the city in the years ahead. As our graduates to be, you're the next generation that will put your minds to helping solve the big issues of our time in a flexible way. Don't be closed, be open, be adaptable, be ambitious. I hope that your time here at Dundee has helped equip you for that, to create the way of thinking to deal with the challenges and opportunities ahead. Your priorities for the future are all of ours. Let me just give you an example. Sustainability is one that's close to my heart. Last year, Scotland wonderfully hosted COP26, the 26th Conference of the Parties on Climate Change. And the 27th is coming up. Hopefully it'll make a bit more progress. But here in Scotland, we hosted that, and you as students were involved in that process. We as staff, as a university, were. But we focus on the words of ex-US President Barack Obama. Mr. Obama said, all of us have a part to play. All of us have work to do. All of us have sacrifices to make. And we will continue as a university, as your community, to work on the goals of mitigating and adapting to climate change. And now we are collaborating in particular with Malawi, a country that Scotland has a very, very close historical ties to, and one of the least developed economies in Africa, to work with them for planning for COP27 later this year in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh. All of you here today, the graduates that have gone before you, those that will follow you across the stage in years to come, are our hope for the future. In your time at the university, you'll gain new knowledge, you'll have gained skills, you'll take these out into the world, but most of all, what you'll take into the world is a sense of yourself. You'll all have grown and come to know yourselves and made great friends, and some of you even your life partners as well. It's our sincerest hope that your time at the university has equipped you to take that next step into the next stage of your life. Be bold, creative, innovative, make your own impact as you step out into the world with your new University of Dundee degree. As a graduate, as an ambassador for our university, know that we, the university community, staff, students, all of us, wish you the very best for the future. Now, I'm told there's such a thing as a Dundee cheer. I'm still waiting to hear it today, Chancellor. But I'm going to give you the count of 3, and then we're going to have a real roof-raising cheer and stomp. Are we all ready to celebrate? 1, 2, 3. I think they're ready, Chancellor. Over to you. Well done, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Principal. I think we're now in a fit state to confer the degrees. So I call upon the Interim Dean of the School of Social Science, Professor Graham Hutton.
Chancellor, I have the honour to confer the degrees of Bachelor of Science with Honours, Cecilia Adamczak. Sarah Allen. Anna Arthurs. Abigail Barry. Emily Bendlin. Carla Blasco Ossa. John Campbell. Francesca Dal Fratello. Aoife Dillon. Catherine Ditty. Sarah Eccleston. Erin Geddes. June Long Go. Lewis Grubb. Laurie Hendry. Alex Hill. Josephine Hoch. Katie Johnson. Amina Khan. Martina Kopchanova. Christian Kostov. Evstratios Kukovinas. Irene Kovac. Athena Zoe Luncy. Eloise McEwen. Cloudy McGregor. Rebecca McMillan. Lara Melville. Issam Mustafa. Mesozi Miza. Amy Neelan. Michaela Nikolova. Josephina Nordstrom. Leah Ofer. Elizabeth Probert. Deborah Price. Cara Rankin. Yolanda Salonia. Henry Schofield. Mikhail Cheruchinsky. Billy Joe Smith. Hannah Stribblehill. Taqwa Tabib. Sara Varioporo. Laura Vincent. Hannah White. Mitch Wilkins. Ying Ying Wu. And for the degree of Master of Arts with Honours, Tracy Lee. Tamsin Whittet. Abby Hamilton. Georgina Taylor. Daniela Bain. Daniel Baril. Carolina Billick. Finn Dixon Van Dyke. Sonia Boyd. Joseph Driver. Sarah Jane Duncan. Abigail Elliott. Millie Grover. Aaron Lucy. Caitlin McPherson. Catherine Monaghan. Ellie Morrison. Annabelle Muir. Neve O'Hara. George Strachan. Laura Van Overbeek Crussels. Chloe Webster. Maria Krogsgaard Power. Jose Tapia Rodriguez. Rachel Burton. Calvin Kirkwood. Istvan Lashter. Robert Murdoch. Dylan Patterson. Kyle Stewart. Darius Smith. Rebecca Levy. Erin Cowie. Hannah Cowison. Caitlin Yunson. Seamus Farrell. Nicola Fordyce. Olivia Jones. Danai Kavatsi. Dylan Keith. Shannon Kirkpatrick. Sani Lapi. Rhiannon McKee. Caitlin Mann. Rebecca McFarlane. Sophie Moody. Freya O'Brien. Anita Robinson. Claudia Rondepierre. Sophia Ronca. Lauren Scott. Cuiva Shield. Seema Snellman. Faye Stevenson. Lorna Stevenson. Isla Sterling. Isabel Struckmeyer. Erin Thomas. Abigail Thompson. Mercedes Brandy. Brooke Simpson. Maria Bebenek. For the degree of Master of Arts, Ella Dews. Ida Mwanza. for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, David Lawson. Ioana Mavromati.
I call upon the Dean of the School of Business, Professor Maurice Altman.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present for the degree of Bachelor of Accountancy with Honors, Amira Akram. Alina Alex. Ali Arshad. Jay Bailey. Donald Beveridge. Joanne Boyle. Gordon Cairns. Rulin Chen. Amber Kolkuhun. Henry Davidson. Connor Douglas. Sarah Douglas. James Elliott. Anderson Evans. Joshua Fisher. Thomas Forshaw. Iona Gallagher. Zara Gall. Maximilian Griffin. Cameron Henderson. Nisiphorus Kellis. Max Kelly. Reese Kelly. Demetrius Koutras. Allison McIntosh. Ben McKay. Osama Morjani. Alit Olverman. Emily Page. Daniel Pickering. Lucella Presbitero. Jack Ringel. Ying Shi. Ross Simpson. Alexis Sprague. Nicholas Watson. Jinwoo Wei. Dennis White. Nikonich Zashi Sverkari. Stacy Turnkanu. And for the Bachelor of Finance with Honors, Ye Fan Kei. Zeppu Chen. Nicola Cook. Alid Gladstone Wallace. Lajia Huang. Mei Lin Wang. Sean Patterson. David Patron. Yeran Hin. For the Bachelor of Science with Honors, Kresmira Stoyanova. Arjwan Ahmad. Benjamin Aitken. Rachel Alexander. Amina Ali. Thomas Calvert. Oliver Cooper. James Coyle. Beth Drum. Scott Elder. Hannah Elwin. Oliver Estelle. Catriona Galatli. Christina Gordon. Samuel Kirk. Amy Laidler. Alexander Lachlan. Jessica Mayer. Patrick Marshall. Kevin McLean. Andrew McCourt. Amy McInnes. Jack McIntosh. Anik Mullen. Liam Oates. Ida O'Mahony. Claire Park. Ivo Petkov. Andrew Rayburn. Chris Ralston. Gregor Shand. Oliver Smith. Madeline Thorns. Rona Wallace. Claire Williamson. Callum Ewell. Jonathan Starrett. Kuai-Shing Sun. Ezra Teep. Shun Yu Wang. Barakat Anderin. Jack Dove. Craig Menzies. Jordan Cuddy. Aaron Culleton. James Houston. Paula Rue. Morgan Love. Lara Layuni El Udgiri. Anna Murdoch. Leanne Boylan. Viviana Corduban. Olivia Scott. And for the Masters of Arts with Honors, Charlotte Bailey. Isabel Earl Morton. Holly Goodman. Joshua Hardman. Sebastian Smith. Boyson Smith. Christy Sutherland. Benedict Wills. Samantha Riddock. Amy Crawford. Samantha Manning. Matthew McGrogan. Sophie Dixon. Wilson Shu. Shan Amitiaz. John Sutherland. Andrea Veshtor Birch. Tracy Kalanjuna. Diana Longu. Bartolomej Klopiki. Jack Greco. Hassan Javed. Abito Milayo Komolafi. Camille Martina. For the Bachelor of Accountancy, Sophie McCallum. For the Bachelor of Finance, Wei Ji Lin. For the Master of Arts, a lot of absences, okay? For the Master of Science, Kurtirat Adusi. Because it's now turned, okay.
Yeah.
Missed one. Bridget Bell. Okay, now for the Master of Science, Kurdi. We did her.
The students turned out.
Ah, okay.
Go back one page.
Somebody turned up.
You're going to do Bridget. Where was she? Bridget. Page 15. this one here. Bridget Bell,
No.
Stephanie Kerr.
Bridget
Stephanie
Bell?
Kerr. Sorry.
Ah, okay.
And then we're going to the next page.
Didn't I do this one? Okay. Stephanie Kerr. Now for the Master of Science. Kudirat Adusi. Varun Karnik. Alua Thompson. Joy Marion Ashio Kameli. Zahiru Islam Jul. Yingshang Liu. Jungjiang Wang. Stanley Botang. Sunak Dutta. Sophie Elder. Ahineko Ameribi.
Ali Hassan has turned up, so you want to say Ali. And then
Okay. Okay. Ali Hassan. Hazel McJanet. Francesca Melfi. Hannah Scott. Corain Zhang. Christian Brenner. Kalani Maputunge.
the student has turned up as well.
Who's this?
Read his name.
This one. Okay. Abdukabir Salomon. Ninan Manoj Fernando Rivikula Pandij.
This student has turned up, so read Indu.
Indu Sharma. Ranji Wang. Tajvi Jaywal. Jaywal. Phillips Alabo Wiley.
Go back to this one. He's turned up.
Frinshal Mohammed Perupuli. Bukula Ajaguna. Kei Yin Hu. Hao Jiang.
This student has turned up, so read this one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Dhruvi Shinal Panchal. Kushi Sanjay Chudari. Disha Gol. Mariam Salim. Wai Jian Shu. Sarin Babu. Ranal Mate. Sabagodash Pereira. Yu Jing Ma. Okay. Nevej Rajan. Yu Jing Ma. Dilini Arach Chidi. Jamli Jose. Kishin Ki Nig. Dominica Afori Aji. Arathi Shiva Prakash. Georgia Bowden. Filippo Mengo. Sai Tarshan Tatigunt Kla. Seima Akhtar. Ibrahim Omad. Panis Mods Saril Afandi. Newis Agahido. Zara Manifard. Kili. Arjona Rumi. Li Chen. Binta Mida. Shili Chen. Mohammed Faisal Ahmad. Tulsi Mehta. Kazi Mim. Manjera Mohana Sundaram. Obasedi Umwini. Ishu Batia. Akshay Oshok Kalman. Shidima Peace Madhwa Guna. Okay. Ashita Kumari. Shida Peace Muta Buna. Misma Wasim. Jamal Shah. Ahmad Al-Roshad. Oh. Philosophy. Okay, so they're both Heriton? All three of them, okay. Now for the Doctor of Philosophy, Jamal Shah.
Many congratulations.
Nise Adohaya.
Congratulations. Good.
Ahmad Al-Rashad.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. I now call upon the principal.
Chancellor, I have the honour to invite you to confer the degrees in absence upon the candidates who have been unable to attend this ceremony.
By the authority of Senate, I confer these degrees.
Well, graduates. Okay, last chance to win the competition, okay? Well done, everybody. 1, 2, 3, let's go! Yeah, I think that's quite an improvement. I think, top marks there. Thank you, Chancellor.
So he doesn't get to sit down for long. I now call upon the principal to present the honorary graduand for the degree of Doctor of Laws. He's with us. Good.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Professor Andrew Hopkins. So I'd like you all to begin by thinking about unicorns. Now, as you know, the national animal symbolising Scotland isn't the magnificent golden eagle, it's not the mighty stag, it's not even the haggis, which, as many of you know, has got 2 legs longer than the other 2 legs so it can run round mountains without being caught. Nope, it's another equally mythical animal. The national animal symbol here in Scotland is a unicorn. And these proud, untamable creatures are fiercely independent and famously difficult to capture or conquer or even see, which will, of course, sound familiar to all of you who have read your Scottish history, either here at Dundee or before. And even though unicorns are these mythological beings, we Scots have always felt drawn to what they represent. They speak to our belief in the magical, in the extraordinary, in the truly outstanding and amazing. The word also has come to represent our greatest business successes. In fact, a unicorn company is a startup company which has achieved a value of over $1 billion. That's extraordinary and magical indeed. Andrew Hopkins has created one of these unicorns. Exscientia is a company born out of the laboratories of our world-leading School of Life Sciences here in Dundee. Barely 10 years ago, Exscientia is now, as I said to you earlier, the third largest pharmaceutical company in the UK, only behind GlaxoSmithKline and AstraZeneca. It's grown from its very humble origins in Dundee to being a global operator with offices in Oxford, Miami, Osaka, and Vienna. This amazing, startling business success has been achieved in the back of tremendous science carried out here in his laboratory, Andrew's laboratory in Dundee. And it's here too that he created that idea that became this incredible global force for good. And for those of you staying in the Apex Hotel, you don't have to look far, because if you come out the door and turn right and walk about 100 yards, Dundee still hosts part of Andrew's company, Exscientia. And it's a true delight and a mark of the man that he's remained faithful to the city, to the university that he spun the company out from. Beyond that, Andrew is without doubt one of the most distinguished and cited scientists, that means other people refer to him in their work, in modern drug discovery. He's pioneered the application of machine learning and artificial intelligence to drug design and its practical commercial application. His forward thinking and original concepts have influenced the entire pharmaceutical industry, and he's been awarded many international scientific awards in recognition of this. It's no exaggeration to say that the medicines of tomorrow will be better and safer thanks to Andrew's insightful work. All the success is grounded in his unique blend of brilliant interdisciplinarity across chemistry, computer science, and pharmacology, and his ability to innovate and his entrepreneurial flair. His intellectual journey is a fascinating one, and one that I encourage all of our graduates to listen to and think about. After his BSc in Manchester and a DPhil in Oxford, he joined the pharmaceutical giant Pfizer, where he quickly rose through the ranks to become head of chemical genomics, and that was about the time that I had the honor to meet Andrew, almost 20 years ago now, Andrew. During that time and since, he's published really seminal work on what he termed the druggable genome, defining on theoretical and data-driven grounds how many and what types of target exist in humans and in our pathogens, the diseases that infect us, that new or existing drugs might act upon. He augmented this work on the druggable genome with the concept of network pharmacology. He's very good at coming up with new terms, as Andrew. The network pharmacology is about the use of therapeutics, of drugs with multi-components, each addressing several targets at once in order to get the necessary therapeutic effect. Think about these nasty things, cluster bombs, but think about a cluster bomb in medicine for the force of good. It's an incredible breakthrough to move away from thinking of each disease has one target and one drug, to multiple approaches to smothering and dealing with diseases, and thus bringing great new therapeutic advances to all of us. He defined what drug-like chemical space is. It's normally reduced to false leads and cul-de-sacs that need to be explored to design and make new medicines. All that meant finding better medicines faster and cheaper, which means more can be done with so much less. After moving here to the University of Dundee in 2007, he refined his work by developing the concept of, and this one I really like, chemical beauty, and thus how to design efficacious and safe medicines in the most efficient way. He augmented this idea of network pharmacology, medicines hitting many targets at once, with its corollary, the design of polypharmacological agents, i.e. medicines that are able to impact more than one target and more than one disease at once. Perhaps most importantly, though, Andrew's intellectual capacity goes beyond developing and articulating complex new concepts, complex new ideas. He's constantly synthesizing his ideas and existing knowledge to push the next boundaries of what can be done by mining existing data and developing conceptual and computational models. He assimilates whatever tools and talent that might be required to reach these lofty goals. That's why, in the very competitive market of artificial intelligence drug design companies, his company, Exscientia, was the first to be incorporated, the first to get drug candidates into clinical trials, and by any criterion is the most successful worldwide. In short, Chancellor, his success and the creative opportunities he brings to his ever-growing team are superb examples of British imaginative science and innovation. Andrew is a very proud Welshman, and he's worked across the UK, in Scotland and beyond in his career, and stands as an inspirational example of how work from any university, this university in particular, can be grown and developed to enormous benefit. His achievements make him an inspiration to all of us, and I hope for all of you as our graduates, on what science can achieve, both for population health and wealth. Chancellor, I have the honour to invite you to confer upon Andrew Lee Hopkins the degree of Doctor of Laws.
By the authority of the Senate, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws. Many congratulations. Well done. And would you like to come in? And
I don't know how to follow that, Ian. Thank you so much, actually. It is such an honor. Ian, thank you so much for your kind words. Distinguished guests, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Rector, and not graduates anymore, but recent graduates, brand new graduates just hatched. You've all been lucky enough to spend the last few years in what I personally think is one of the finest education and research establishments in the world, the University of Dundee. I'm fortunate enough to have been a professor here at the School of Life Sciences from the year 2007. But as you can probably tell from my accent, I was not born in Scotland. I'm a Welshman. I don't believe my town in the South Wales Valleys actually has many recommendations on TripAdvisor. And unfortunately, if you Google it, it actually comes up as one of the worst places to grow up poor in Wales. And unfortunately, now we rank at the top of that list. Yet it wasn't so bad, if you're good at rugby, which I weren't, But the community and my family there did provide me with a character that has driven me ever since. And that is, at the heart of that, is a lifelong passion to learn. As a working class boy growing up in the valleys, people really didn't have many choices in the 80s. You know, they were thinking about whether or not to go down the mines, which were all being closed down at the time, or actually go work in a steel factory in Port Talbot. And in 1987, when I was 16, my chemistry teacher, Mr. Giles, found me a summer job down at a steel plant in Port Talbot, which I found far more stimulating than the usual sort of job you might get in Tesco's during the summer. But despite being interested in many, many things, as a working class boy from South Wales, I found actually science was the real route to advance myself. And one of the reasons why is that one of the greatest hurdles I found actually the working class have is often children are faced with a lack of access to the social networks, the connections, the soft skills that one may grant to an access to the first steps in many professions. What I found actually in science, probably more than most other professions and most other fields, that is based on meritocracy. It's what you know rather than who you know. And I think for kids without connections, the chance to advance based on one's abilities then leveled the playing field to a degree. And that actually I found was critical for me then sort of to move on in life. I became determined then to go to university and decided to sort of think about how to fund that, you know, by holding raves in the late 80s. Raising money, you know, was a fine idea to get there. And it's exactly what I ended up doing, actually. And Friday nights after college, doing my A-levels. And it's a bit ironic, actually, then receiving a Doctor of Laws today when most of my late teenage years were probably spent trying to escape some of those laws. So I went to Manchester University in 1990, which I considered to be much harder to get into in Oxford at the time because, frankly, everyone wanted to be there in the early 90s. My entire sixth form applied because of the incredible music scene at the time. So instead of hosting raves, I went to attending them and returning to Wales each holiday to work in the steel factory. And quite how anyone managed to leave Manchester with a degree in the early 90s is actually still beyond me, let alone a first. But I can tell you, even though I really enjoyed my undergraduate years in Manchester, as I hope you've really enjoyed your undergraduate years here in Dundee, it is said that all learning has an emotional base if you're going to really accept and understand those lessons. But it was actually my year working in the steel industry, back at British Steel, as part of a sponsorship of my degree, I had to go back and work for a year, that I learned something really powerful that really shaped my career and continues to do so to this day. And that lesson was how swift and dramatic the impact of technology can be on people's lives, for good or bad, on whole communities and on entire industries. British Steel was actually, you wouldn't think of it, but actually was one of the pioneers of the use of computing in manufacturing and produced some of the world's first fully automated plants in Wales. Tech-driven automation, increasing efficiency, the quality of steel improving, and the safety of making it. But it also meant that the plant I worked in went from employing 30,000 people to 3,000 people, and the impact you can imagine that has on entire communities. So what I learned then, technology can overhaul entire industries almost overnight. And what I learned that really one must embrace it to survive, almost in a Darwinian fashion. So I swapped in the cooling towers of the steelworks to the ivory towers of academia, and I went to do a doctorate in biophysics at Wadham College in Oxford, studying HIV, a virus that owes its very success to the power of evolution and adaptation. And it was there, actually, walking back from the lab at 2 a.m. We used to have our lab meetings with supervisor at midnight. It was that kind of place. That one morning I had the epiphany. I was working on a problem of how could we design new drugs for HIV, which could overcome the mechanism of drug resistance, which was occurring. We give a new drug to a patient, and actually within a few weeks, the virus had mutated to become resistant to that drug. How could we design drugs that would slow that process? And I remember distinctly thinking, how could we use computational approaches to undertake the creative act of designing new drugs, actually a human creative process, in an automated way, pulling all the available data together so that computing power and technology could actually drive a revolution in the biological sciences, turning really effective medicines from what effectively are a scarcity. There's usually about only 40 new medicines a year being produced. You know, think how many new films a year are being produced. From a scarcity into an abundance. And that actually has driven my career sort of ever since, that thought. So following my doctorate, it was the end of the 80s now, I went to join Pfizer. Pfizer had recently just discovered and launched Viagra, which turned out to be one of the most successful drugs ever at the time. And I figured they had, you know, a big pharmaceutical money, a lot of money to spend, and it could help me potentially bring some ideas to life. So in those days, getting a job in Big Pharma felt like getting a job for life. For the academics, it felt like getting tenure. So originally being recruited, actually even without a proper job description, just a remit to come and work here and you might find something interesting. They eventually give me a job soon after called Head of Knowledge Discovery. And that allowed me to explore all sorts of computational approaches to drug design, thinking about how data and machine learning could be used to generate hypotheses, things which drive the ideas in science, and how then we could find new uses for existing drugs. This work then offered the tantalizing indication of the future of drug discovery is going to be for me, and how creating algorithms that one could learn from, for all available data, could revolutionize the search for new medicines. But I also realized that if I wanted to change the pharma industry, I was going to have to step outside it. Culture is the biggest barrier to the adoption of new ideas and new technology, even culture within companies and industries. So I needed a place to work that would grant me the freedom to think and to innovate. And that place was Dundee. So on here in the School of Life Sciences here was open to the idea of developing new concepts in drug discovery. Professor Mike Ferguson was setting up a new drug discovery unit there, and we just heard about the successes of malaria that had come from that unit. Mike made me an offer that I could not refuse, and I jumped ship from Pfizer to come to this fantastic university and to the School of Life Sciences, the highest cited university for life sciences in Europe, not just the UK. It's incredible. And here I was free to pursue my ideas and my dreams of automating drug discovery through technology and algorithms. And the rest, they say, is history, and maybe as a degree for another time. But building here, all I learned from the pharmaceutical industry, and also from all I learned about economics and social change from the steel industry, it was here in Dundee where Hugh and my team were finally able to create an automated learning approach to designing new drugs, harnessing all the known parameters of drug discovery through machine learning, and generating new drugs that would match the specific detailed specifications to precision engineer a new medicine. We set out really to mimic the creative process that humans use to design drugs. It is a creative process, just as if you were designing a new product or designing a piece of art. And how we could do that with an algorithm. And in fact, when we thought about that and analyzed it, we discovered that the process of evolutionary computing was genuinely a powerful analogy to mimic the human creative process of design. And that was our sort of eureka moment, resulting in algorithms we didn't just publish in Nature, which is one of the key prestigious scientific journals, but provided a foundation for a new company which we spun out from the University of back here in 2012. Excuse me. So how often do you get the opportunity to change the world? Prestigious scientific papers are not enough. If we wanted to make an impact, we needed to turn an invention into an innovation. And an innovation is something that works repeatedly in the real world, solving real problems. That company today is called Exscientia. Universities like Latin, so that's Latin for meaning from knowledge. How would you design new things, new medicines from knowledge in a way? And I'm proud to be its founder and chief executive. Exscientia aims to revolutionize the pharmaceutical industry through a continuous learning approach using artificial intelligence to design the best possible medicines for as many people as possible, as fast as possible. And from that original idea in my doctorate, we can now envision a world where effective medicines can move from being a scarcity to being an abundance by applying AI to the creation of those medicines. The company's been a real pioneer in applying artificial intelligence to creation of medicines. We've delivered the first ever new drugs designed by AI now into human clinical trials. We have shown for the first time that an AI system can improve the survival for cancer patients by selecting the best possible drug for each individual patient in validated clinical trials. Last year, Exscientia listed on NASDAQ in the New York Stock Exchange, the biggest ever initial public offering for a European biotech ever. And I now believe we're Britain's biggest biotech. Exscientia has been a great success so far, but its ethos remains simple: improving the discovery and development of new medicines through continued learning. We see drug discovery as a learning problem, where we don't know the answer when we begin, when we start the project, but we learn our way to that answer. AI has been helping us to learn faster. But life is also that learning problem. And that's probably the abiding message I'd like you to take away today. Learning doesn't stop when you graduate today. I encourage you to continue to learn and evolve as you go through your careers, You will learn more from your mistakes necessarily than your successes. You will find that you'll need to be tenacious. And the path to success is not always the shortest or most obvious path. In fact, the detours you make may actually lead you to a much better place. And I can't think of a better beginning for your life of learning than graduating from the University of Dundee. Thank you all for your time. Thank you once again for your honour. I thank my wife Eva and my daughter Nia for being on this journey with me. And most of all, thank you Dundee. I couldn't have done it without you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Your certificate. Thank you. Excellent. We've now reached the close of this ceremony. I invite the Assembly to be upstanding. I declare this academic ceremony closed.